It is 6 o'clock. So I'd like to call the meeting to order of Town of Southbridge, Joint Education and Human Services Subcommittee / Town Council meeting, Veterans Conference Room, Wednesday, June 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m. This meeting is being recorded by audio and video, and we have a quorum of 3. Agenda number 1 is called to order. Number 2 is roll call. Councilor Marchetti.
Present.
Councilor-elect Ortiz.
Present.
Councilor Ryan and Mr. Provost are not here. Okay, agenda item number 3, discuss review, Councilor Montigny is here, I'm sorry. Discuss and review the town manager's recommendation to reappoint James Dyer to the Jacob Edwards Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. State ethics and good standing. Entertain a motion to town council to recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Ortiz, Marchetti. Okay, any discussion?
I'm here from Canada.
Did you want to say anything, Mr. Dyer? or-
Sure, thank you.
Oh,
Hi,
sir.
James Dyer, 95 Highland Street in Southbridge, resident since 2006. Very privileged to be here this evening. Thank you, councilors, and thank you to Mr. Blanchard for the renomination to the Jacob Edwards Library Board of Trustees. Currently serving as the vice chair of the board and the primary liaison from our board to Bank of America for the Edwards Trust that helped complement the funding for the library, as well as work with Director Morrissey on an ad hoc committee for some technology upgrades that we're considering to the Piapi room. I consider it a privilege and an honor to be on the library board of trustees. I consider it a gem of our community, and I agree with Margaret's mission and the library's mission to be really the community place to be here in Southbridge. So I appreciate your consideration for sending it up to the council for future approval. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, and thank you for all the time you've served. Anybody else? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present? Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 4, discuss review the town manager's recommendation to reappoint Margaret Morrissey as the ex officio member of the Jacob Edwards Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. State ethics and good standing. Entertain a motion to town council to recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion. I believe since Margaret is the director, she's going to be part of the board. So, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 5, discuss review the town manager's recommendation to reappoint Nicole Duffy to the Board of Health for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. State ethics and good standing. Entertain a motion of town council to recommend approval.
So moved.
I'd like to make a motion to postpone this item tonight.
All right, I'll second that.
Okay, motion postponed by Councilor Marchetti. Mr. Ortiz, second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present to postpone to a later
Next
date,
meeting?
the next EHS meeting, at a later date. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, agenda item number 6, discuss review the town manager's recommendation to reappoint Keith Roberts as Veterans Graves Officer for a 1-year term effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. State ethics and good standing. Entertain a motion of town council to recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? George?
Can I ask why this position isn't a 3-year appointment?
That, I'm not sure. If anybody else wants to take that one, they can. But it's not the veterans' job
I
that he
understand
does.
that.
It's
The
the
Graves.
Graves, right?
And every year it comes forward for the same
Mhm.
person.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, it's normally Keith, I think, it wasn't Mike before, I think it was another guy that passed away. But, it's been the veterans agent that does it. I don't know if it's a state law or,
I
Is it in
don't.
the charter?
Council.
Are we talking about the veterans agent?
no.
Yeah, but he's also the Graves officer.
I think you better check the state law. I think that's where that answer lies.
Okay.
That's like the state law for I have one up on, the animal control officer, that's gonna be the parking enforcement. The animal control, you can make it a 3-year. The parking enforcement by state law has to be every year.
Well, that could be the.
So that could be the same think that we're running into, so.
Okay.
We'll look at it next year.
So how about, assuming that he gets recommended, if we find out between now and the next amount tomorrow, we could change it to 3
If you
years?
want, the only thing I would suggest, Mike, if approve it, send it up to council.
Right.
If we, excuse me, let me finish. If we turn around and find out otherwise, by saying, well, we can expand it, and if the council, it goes up to Jim and Daniel's subcommittee, and they turn around and say they express like full council wants 3 years,
Right.
then we can make it 3 years and amend it to 3 years. But right now, let's say, just for the flow, move it up to the full council.
Agreed.
You have time, while you're saying,
Look at it.
look at the charter,
Yeah.
or the bylaw, to see if there's
Right.
something in there about it.
I didn't see it in either position, but,
All right,
I'll ask Keith, I'll go see Keith.
okay.
If we find out there's anything different, we'll amend it on the floor. Thank you for that concern. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 7, discuss and review a health department transfer request for $800 from account number 001132-578100 town council reserve to account number 001512-530000 special services to cover the expenses for emergency tick control at Henry Street Field. Entertain a motion of town council to recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion. Councilor Marquetti.
Is there, you have specialized services to take care of things like this, so why would you need funds from council reserves?
Counselor, it was necessary because right now the funds are at a low level and we still have additional bills coming in, particularly the public health nurse bill that's coming in. So in order not to have all those funds reduced to a negative, felt that it was imperative to move that $800 for that particular service.
How much money do you have right now in special services?
It's about $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000, with again, bills coming in from the public health nurse. And they average on a month $800 to $900 by 7. So I just felt that it was an imperative to request this.
But if you have $3,000 to $4,000 in there right now, and you're only looking at an $800, $900 a bill from the nurse.
Sure. Well, may I add that the health department took on this role. This is not a normal role that we do, pest control. We acted on it because I have experience in pest control. And I was assured that the bill would be covered. And in order to ensure the viability of additional pest control services, which still need to take place, this was the starting point. So with that said, it's going to be $800 per application, and there's going to be 3 applications that are necessary this summer, just for Henry Street Field. In conjunction with that, I've also asked Bremen, the pest control company from Agawam, Mass, to give us quotes for all of the fields here in Southbridge. I'm waiting for that quote. And in lieu of that, I just don't think the specialized services budget next year will be able to support that process.
So this is coming out of 2023 budget, which is ending in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
And
that's correct.
the next budget, your specialized services will be replenished again.
It will. We'll take a look at that. There's some additions and subtractions right now. I would get a better understanding where we are, but again, I thought it was important right at the tail end of 23 here now to make sure that we have enough funds because of those additional bills that are coming from the public health nurse.
All right.
Okay, I have a list of a couple people, but one could argue DPW's control the maintenance of the fields anyway, so it should be maybe in their budget. I'll go with Councilor Dowd and Lazo.
Thank you, Chair. You only budget 100 Street, and you're saying you're gonna get a price for all the field. You think 800 is enough?
No, that's $800 is the price per field, per field.
For treatment.
And that's per treatment, yes. So, as I stated, Henry Street Field, in order to do a proficient job from the eyes of a pest control technician, 3 applications, 3 treatments are needed.
So that's 20.
And that's 2,400. Now, the next treatment will be in, they want to coordinate it at the end of July, and then 1 in September, give or take.
And you don't know what's the bill, how much the bill coming in from the house nurse.
What type of treatment?
So,
What am I asking?
do you feel comfortable with
Tick treatment.
800, or we should amend it more money for now?
I don't want to dominate. the
Right now, I
conversation.
am comfortable with the 800.
Okay.
That's contingent, that's not gonna cover that, obviously that additional, the second treatment,
It's up to you.
which will be in next fiscal year anyhow. So I am comfortable, $800 will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council Lazo.
Not to prolong this was an exceptional year with an infestation at Henry Street. And with Little League starting, you know, it started interrupting the season, then they have a short season, the kids are not getting what they need. Matter of fact, I think it was George Trinian that brought it to my attention, and then we brought it to the health department's attention. I went to go see Charlie. It was an emergency type situation, and we, you know, the health department handled it. We used to have somebody on DPW that sprayed, but the licensed guy left. And I know that he did a lot of the weed spraying and the stuff that kept out that license for. So we have to, you know, sublet it and go out and get it done. And when you got the baseball season in full swing, pretty hard to turn around. They moved the games out of Henry Street. That's how bad it was. I said, well, why all of a sudden? And people were telling me, what happens is, without a heavy winter, we end up with the infestation because winter was so warm and so light. But that's basically how it came about. The parents complained, Mr. Shinya brought it to the attention of the council, and I ran it to the health department saying, hey, we don't need any sickness coming out of this.
Okay. Chairman Daniels, did you still want to say anything?
I was just gonna say that there was a potential public health emergency here with the infestation, knowing that the ticks carry vermin and disease. So it was, in order to allow the children to play, they were prohibited from being on the field because of the infestation, and we couldn't allow that to happen for the full year. So in speaking with the health department, it was decided that on an emergency basis, because it is a potential public health emergency due to the disease factor, that the tick infestation should be treated.
Okay. Mr. Chenier, I had you next. Did you want
Just as, you know, what Council Lazo said,
Yeah.
I was there with my kids and my grandchildren. My son's baby went home with a diaper full of ticks.
Oh.
And the kids stopped the game mid-field, mid-game to pick ticks off the uniforms. I did talk to Scott. I did talk to the director. The director, after got back to me, said that DPW didn't do it no more. They didn't have no funds for it. It was the end of the year. They had no funds. So I did make a contact to the state, and they said, well, it sounds like more of a health emergency necessary. So I did speak to Scott, and they got it all going.
Mr. Chenier, or maybe Dan, do you know what type of treatment it was? Was it a spray?
I guess there was a spray right there.
Yes, it was a residual spray, permethrin.
Right. That's the one they did it, yeah.
So what they really emphasized is the border areas.
Right.
Around the perimeter of the field.
Yeah.
And then after the spraying, now this last couple of weeks, last weekend, very, very few ticks, so it did work.
No, that's good. I have something similar at my house. It's the same with the borders.
Yes.
But thank you, Mr.
So that
Chenier.
first game, if you would have seen the kids, the amount of ticks that were attached to the lower legs,
Yeah.
babies in their diapers,
Yep.
you know, it was amazing. It just was just amazing.
They're bad this year. Ms. Doyle, did you want to add anything?
Oh,
Or Gus?
I did. You answered my question. I was gonna ask, the type of pesticide, you said permethrin. Is there, you know, I'm worried about, half-life of the pesticide and everything. Is there anything that has a lesser half-life that would be as effective? I really don't know. And I know you said, you used to work in pest control, So is there any oversight of pest control, companies, or do you just know which ones?
Well, I know which ones, but I mean, at this particular time, due to the fact that it really did constitute an emergency situation, and we had to expedite all processes. We reached out to 3 or 4 pest control companies, and 3 out of them gave me 2 weeks to come see the field. And Bremen was the only company that would discuss this and move forward within days. And actually did the application 2-3 days after we contacted them. So they did use a pesticide which, when you talk about half-life, the re-entry time was important. We didn't want to keep people off the field for a certain time. So after an application of a commercial pesticide like this, the fields need to be closed. So, you know, in which they did. And the use of permethrin only required a day to 2 days, you know, better. But other formulations would have been costlier, and it would have taken up to 3-4 days for
I'm not questioning the urgency of it, I'm just looking out for the water supply and things like that.
Sure, understood. Yeah, but that is taken into account. And might I add that Bremen was good enough with their services that they did the treatment at Henry Street Field and did a free treatment at the skateboard park, that field. I forget the name of it. Yeah, but they added that with no additional cost.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all set too?
I just want quick comment that he had answered a couple of my questions that I already had, but just to follow up on the half-life thing, according to this, it's Oregon State University's website. They say that the half-life of permethrin is an average of about 40 days. On plant surfaces, the half-life ranges from 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Thank you. And I saw Council Lazo one more
In
time.
closing, I don't want to prolong it, I'd just like to thank the health inspector
Yeah.
for the quickness on how he handled this problem. It seemed like he got on fire, and all of a sudden phone calls were made, manager, chairman of the council, everybody was on board within hours. And I think the moving this forward for the public health was outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 8, discuss review whether to ratify the contract with the YMCA of Central Massachusetts for the exclusive use of the Petro Pool on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. from July 11th, 2023 through August 8th, 2023. Entertain a motion to Town Council to recommend approval.
So moved.
Mrs. Marquetti, okay. Any discussion? Council Marquetti.
So I take it that this is for them to use the pool in the morning, because I know they're opening up the pool on the 24th.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, it would just be exclusive use for my kids' program on Tuesday mornings. They get to go and use the pool all to themselves until noon.
And the YMCA is paying for it? 'Cause
No, we're paying for it. The YMCA manages the Andrew J. Petro pool.
Petro.
Okay, it's just, I guess I was reading it, the way I was reading it, they were paying, but I get it.
Yep.
It's the way it looked to me, like, in exchange for her use of this facility, the user shall pay a facility fee of $750 per day.
Yep, so I'm the user in that situation.
I gotcha, thank you.
Absolutely.
It says facilities use agreement.
But we don't. We shouldn't have to pay for it.
We pay a water bill for
The
town buildings that are...
Water bill, maybe I can understand, but I mean, we own the property, why should the town pay for the use of the town pool?
The YMCA does manage it for us. That was handed over a few years ago, and it's a very similar agreement to what the cops and kids end up using for each year. So.
For the state pool.
Yeah. All right, Councilor Dow.
Thank you, Chair. So, Thursday from 8 to 12?
Tuesdays from 9 to 12.
So the public not allowed to use it?
No, it opens to the public at noon.
Just
That's every
Tuesday.
day?
I believe every day is noon.
So it's not like we eliminate the public
Nope.
to specific, so they're all our kids actually, you know, nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
So the YMCA manager, did they pay anything for the town to manage it or no?
That I'm not certain. It has been in the YMCA's hand well before I came here. But they manage it with their staff, their lifeguards, their training
So 750 for the whole?
per day.
For a day?
Yeah.
So probably for the staff and,
Yes. Yeah.
thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Agenda item number 9 is adjournment.
Motion.
Motion by Councilor Marquetti,
Second.
second by Councilor Ortiz. No discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? The meeting is adjourned at 6:20. Thank you.